What's good, y'all? It's your boy back again. Saigon. And I got an AEW review from AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. But first things first, before I get started, hope peace and love to everybody out there that's about to get affected by this storm. And no, I am not talking about Jade Cargill, even though she is currently probably in Canada right now. Maybe that's the reason why the storm is coming our way. Don't know. Shout out to Jade Cargill. Just had a shameless plug for old Jade Cargill. But hope everybody is going to be safe in the storm. Hopefully, it is not a crazy storm like they're saying, but we will see. But let me start off by saying also that shout out to Powerhouse Hobbs because he got signed. You know, the reports are saying that he got signed to WWE. So before I get into AEW stuff, Powerhouse Hobbs, a former cog, or really honestly, he was a former powerhouse, no pun intended, obviously, in AEW. So sad to see him go for AEW, but happy to see him in WWE if they treat him right, like I talked about in last episode. So you know, shout out to that boy Powerhouse. Big facts. So let's get started with the review. So Dynamite starts off with Brody King coming out to challenge MJF because MJF is in the ring and MJF is talking hot shit. He is saying basically nobody is on my level. I don't know why I'm here right now. I need more comp, basically, is what he's saying. So Brody King, like, I'll be comp. You talking shit about my boy? We is not going to do that at all because we love Bandito. Bandito the man. Shout out to Bandito. And Brody King like, hell nah. You gonna have to stand on them words. So what's up with the what's up? Because I'm a hellhound. And hellhounds, they bark. So MJF is like, yeah, you're not on my level, but hey, you're big. You're very big. That's why they call you Big Brody, Brody King. But nah, you gotta get your wins up. Who you been beating? You've been beating, you know, the cameraman and some of the guys the backstage that aren't worth a damn, even though one of them is his translator. But who you beating, bruh? So Brody King, like, all right, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. So you know, I would love to see a Brody King versus MJF match because Brody King should be in the main event as he is big and he is strong and he is, you know, really, really good and nimble and he is a great worker. So Brody King, MJF should be a really great match. I cannot wait to see that. Maybe a Revolution, maybe it's going to be at a Dynamite, but we shall see. So, before the Samoa Joe and the Speedball Mike Bailey match, the new trios champions are trying to figure out a name for themselves. And if you can understand what is in the banner up there, you will probably understand the name of their team, which throughout the whole entire, you know, broadcast that was being yelled at, especially at Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, who we talk about later, and I'm pretty sure on Collision, because they recorded it that same day, most likely. Collision will also probably be having them yell at Hangman Adam Page like that. So, yeah. The match, Speedball and Samoa Joe, obviously a great match. Wild spot when Samoa Joe smacked the shit out of Mike Bailey's chest. So yeah, that was a really good match. Shibata got involved, and so did I believe Hook. Hook got involved too. So yeah, Samoa Joe wins because Samoa Joe should win. Truth be told. All right, so after that, we got a 6-man tag team match with the Death Riders. versus the Don Callis family. What was actually that? Right? It was John. It was Moxley, uh, Garcia, and Yuta versus Hechicero, Lance Archer, and Rocky. So basically, they were the D team of the Don Callis family. They are the ones that, for lack of a better term, they're the fluffer of the Don Callis family. We'll leave it at that because they're not the main event. they're, I mean, you know, I got a boy. He said he likes Lance Archer's heel character. Sure, I like Hechicero. Hechicero is actually a really great luchador. I think that he is going to be out of those three, the one that should be going up to the B and A level of the Don Callis, but we'll see. Um, yeah, Death Riders win because it's a 6-man tag team match, and they're going to go crazy. Good spots with Marina Shafir coming in against Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk, and Moxley goes up to Don Callis and he's like, "Yo, tell your boy he know where I'm at." Talking about Kazuchika Okada. So maybe we'll get a rematch. Okada versus what was I talking about? Okada versus Moxley. So that happened. And Tekla and the Sisters of Sin, or Triangle Madness, well, they're the sisters. Julia Hart and Sky Blue are the Sisters of Sin. But the Triangles of Madness was very, very hyped up. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all right now. I don't know why, but there's just something about Tekla that just screams star. Like Tekla seems like the real cool, down to earth. Like she would be a wrestler that I would like to meet. Tekla just seems like a cool person outside the ring and a wild, crazy person inside the ring. But I definitely think that she is a main eventer. She's the best talker out of those three. I don't know what happened, Julia. Julia Hart, I guess maybe was never a talker, but you know, Julia Hart never being a talker, and she tried to talk and was like, "Hey, I want to fight you, Willow." Like it was very monotone, and yet that's what their vibe is in the Sisters of Sin. But she doesn't sell it like Sky Blue. Sky Blue sells the, you know, crazy, you know, looking. Julia Hart doesn't do that for me. Julia Hart just looks like a Valley girl. And that's no shade to her, but that's just I never got that vibe from her. I understand the whole witch and she's a witch and all that stuff, but I don't know. Maybe out of those three, she doesn't do it for me in the Triangle of Madness in terms of their character and their, group being like crazy wild. So yeah, we're gonna get a Julia Hart and Willow match. And we are also going to get a Tekla versus Chris Statlander match. So obviously I'm pretty sure Tekla's not going to win, but with a good showing, hopefully Tekla can maybe run the Owen Hart Cup. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely excited for that match too. FTR, excuse me, ended up facing, and I'm looking at my phone, y'all. So Jordan Oliver and Alec Pierce, I believe, and shout out to the 3 Count Kings for putting me on to this. These were the two guys that MJF went to, I believe it was Maine, somewhere up north. He was defending his title up at a Maine promotion, I believe, and basically told these guys that they're signed to AEW. It was a really good event, really nice heartfelt moment. And their first match is against the AEW Tag Team Champions and FTR. And then Chris Statlander obviously accepts Tekla's offer. Singles match, Kenny Omega, aka in 2017, the best wrestler, argue with your favorite luchador, versus Josh Alexander, and Kenny Omega beat Josh Alexander. Shout out to Kenny Omega, aka Alex, on Street Fighter. Shout out for him for doing mocap and putting moves in Street Fighter, making the Alex character even more versatile. So shout out to the cleaner, the GOAT of the late 2010s, Kenny Omega. Tag team match. So tag team match between the Mega Sis, Megan Bayne, and Penelope Ford versus Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, aka the Timeless Love Bombs. It was a match. It was good. I you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I like AEW's flow. Some people don't like it, but I do like their flow. Even the women who are you know showing off, in my opinion, more than the WWE women. What I talked about last week about how the mid card of WWE has nothing on AEW's mid card. But we'll talk about that on a different episode, on a different day. So, the Megasis and Penelope Ford won. And then they won, obviously, because they beat Mina Shirakawa's ass. And guess who pops up and gives Mother Milk to Tony Storm? Marina Shafir. Because Mother Milk is over. And Marina Shafir, once again, should also be a main eventer in the women's division. And last but not least, Swerve Strickland versus Kevin Knight in an exhibition of black excellence. It was a very great match. Kevin Knight, shout out to Kevin. And I want to talk about how Swerve Strickland must have the utmost respect and love for Kevin Knight to allow him to do the house call. And was it a beautiful house call? That was a great house call. But Swerve had to one up him with his own move. So once again, another great match. MJF was looking on. He looked not happy when Swerve won. So we'll see. Swerve's looking for that title. Mega's looking for the title. And Hangman's still looking for the title. And now Brody King's looking for the title. And shoot, even Bandito might come after the title. And Samoa Joe still has a chance. There's a lot of guys in the main event that could easily go for the AEW Men's Championship. So AEW as a whole in Orlando, great. I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. And that's really it. Yeah. It's your boy, Flex Washington.